Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back from vacation. That's right. Everyday Gunplay here, back with another review. Now, I teased this kit last week, and I gotta say, this is probably the most educational model kit on the market. And we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna get into it because this thing is freaking cool. So, straight out of the box, we've got a blue kit and we have a red kit. Now, how you build this is pretty much the same up until you get to the face. Once you get to the face, you get to pick between a kangaroo and just a regular boxing head. We got 5 runners per kit. It comes with hydraulic hoses. It comes with boppers, and it comes with a little bit of metal bits and stuff for arms and legs. Well, mostly for the arms. But this book, let's talk about this book. This thing is amazing. And it's called a hydraulic set. And it's a STEM model kit. Now, if you go through the book like I'm doing here, it tells you everything you need to build a model kit. And I believe this is made in America. I believe it's an American company. The kit was manufactured in Taiwan. But it tells the parents how to do everything, the steps. It walks you through the entire process. On top of that, it will give educational facts on hydraulics, on hydro pumps, on model kit building, which this book is beautiful, color coded. It breaks down everything you need. It gives you a little measuring stick inside of it for marking off the hydraulic tubings. This book has it all. It's an amazing first entry for anybody. Yes, it's a little bit advanced, so it does recommend ages 10 and up, but for kids 10 and below, parents, if you're building this thing for them, super straightforward. And it was truly awesome building this thing and going through this book. I spent, I think, maybe 15 minutes just reading this book because this book was pretty awesome. And I just wanted to, I go through Gunplay books and I read them and stuff, but since this one is fully in English, no Japanese or anything, no Chinese, I read everything. I read the entire book. Like I said, it took me about 20 minutes to read the book and just go over it. And then when I get to the back, I was pleasantly surprised because right here you see examples of how all of this stuff works in the world. And again, they call it the hydraulic boxing box, excuse me. But this book, super detailed. I mean, it's a good read for the kids. Definitely a good read for the parents. You guys take your time reading this. I encourage you guys to read through it. If this is your first time building with your kids, this kit is it. Absolutely. Yes, there's EverydayGunpla, and it's super easy, super intricate for little kids to get into. But this right here is all English. I didn't even find it. I found this in the Gunpla section at Hobby Lobby, but it wasn't even with the Gunpla kits. It was actually in its own little section. And I just walked by it and I was like, whoa, what's that? Picked it up, started reading, and I was like, man, this thing's cool. So yeah, it was an easy buy. But like I said right here, as you see, you pick between the kangaroo head, red, which is recommended, and the boxing face, blue. But you can mix and match them. You can build both heads and use both heads for the bots, so you're not limited to just kangaroo red. You could do blue kangaroo, you could do red boxing face. How did this build stack up? Honestly, this is like Bandai quality and Takara Toma quality as far as Zoids. As far as plastic and as far as putting bits and gears together with Takara Toma, and when you put it together the Zoids, this kit is up there. I mean, the quality And it has to be quality because you are going to be fighting these guys. And that's the cool part about this kit, guys. You get to actually, once you're done building the kit, most kits you put them on display, you really don't do anything unless you get something like the King Crab or something with an LED light or anything of that nature, or a walking Zoid. You actually interact with these model kits and you fight them. That's why it's for kids, because the kids and the adults, you guys can play this together. And so the plastic is extremely durable, extremely durable. Like, the bits weren't hard to put together. Again, this is basically, you guys remember Bionicle? If you guys remember Bionicle, you'll know that this is basically how you used to assemble Bionicles in that retrospect. No, they weren't model kits. They were parts put in the bags and you put them together, but this reminds me a lot of Bionicles. And I know that's probably like an ancient name drop for a lot of you guys. Some of you guys have probably never even heard of Bionicle, but if you remember Bionicle, guys, my older guys, my older guys and gals, and in between, you guys remember putting the Bionicles together and using the little gear bits in the back once you were done to like swing the swords and shields on some of the guys. Actually, Bionicles are super expensive now. Like, you can't even, if you have a collection of Bionicles, wait about another 10 years, you'll probably start getting about $500 to like $1,000, $500 to $1,000 for your old sets. So right now they're on eBay, a minimum for like $250. You can find some for like $100, but those are only like the 4-packs. I'm talking about like the 6-packs and the 10-packs and stuff like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys know Bionicle, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, everything was easy to go together. I mean, I believe since this is an educational kit, it is entry grade style / high grade. There's really nothing to really compare these two outside of Zoids as far as the way this stuff goes together. But I don't think that's a bad thing. If you can put together one of the HNMs or HMM Zoids, then it's pretty much a entry level grade to one of those. Again, really hard to explain these because there's really no frame of reference outside of other things, other medias to compare these guys to. I've never seen a kit like this before, and I haven't seen anyone build this thing. I haven't seen anyone feature this thing, and I think that's a shame because this thing was really cool, and I had a blast putting this together. It wasn't like I turned off my brain to build it because I was reading and I wanted to make sure that everything went together correctly, and I put this together correctly because I was going to be having my girls play with this afterwards. And you'll see later on in the video, I actually have the girls playing with these. And yes, they're all below the age of 5 and their fingers are a little too short to press them, except for my oldest daughter. She's 4. Her hands are big though. But if you get past that part of the build, you know, if you don't have kids under 10, or if you don't have kids over 10, or if you have kids under 10, then absolutely this will be such a fun thing for them. And again, I took my time. I went over it multiple times because I didn't want to screw this up, and I wanted to make sure that everything was going together correctly. Like right here, you have this leg piece right here that has wheels on them, which is really cool because you can actually move the kits around. You'll see that later. And it's easy to build, but it's not hard to build, but easy to miss some things, because I had to go back a couple times and double check that I had everything in correctly. And you really don't want to skip a beat on these guys. Follow the book to the T, because you're going to be getting to the part with the joysticks here. This is actually joysticks, which again, freaking cool. But you want to make sure all this stuff correctly fits together, and you want to make sure all of this stuff is put together properly, because again, your kids and you are going to be playing with this stuff, so you guys want to make sure that like all your ducks are in a row with this kit. And honestly, it's cool because once you start putting it all together, you know how you put a model kit together and you're like, yeah, you know, the end result is articulation or posability and how it looks. But this, the anticipation for playing with this was so high that I just couldn't wait to get to that point of putting the hydraulics on, putting together the water pumps, and putting the springs on the arms for the punching parts, putting the arms together, and just all around just getting this ready so that I can experience it and my kids can experience it. Now, the color separation, we'll talk about that. So again, you have the red, you have the blue. Now, what I decided to do with the joysticks was I decided to mix a little bit of the red onto the blue joysticks, because honestly, although the color separation is amazing, by the way, these controllers are so sturdy that you don't have, like, yes, you can break them obviously, but you don't have to really worry about them going buck wild, because they are meant to be kind of abused, is I guess the proper term. This right here is me greasing the water tubes. Now you have to do this because you're putting rubber bits on, and this is going to be pumping water in through the tubes into the hydraulic system so that the arms move. And that's very important. Oh, and the hydraulic system works with the waste as well. Like, there's a lot of intricate parts. Yes, the kit is very easy to build, but there's a lot of intricate parts that make the kit function correctly. And this is the part of the stem that I feel like a lot of you guys should be paying attention to with your kids, making sure that they are well aware of the entire process that's going on. Because again, this is, and I will stress this a few more times throughout the video, an educational model kit. It's not just for show, it's not just for display. It's so you can teach your kids about hydraulics and water, hydroponics, or excuse me, hydro pumps, springs, and mechanisms and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and that is the beauty of this. Every single part, from the model kit through here, through the pumps and the hydraulic system and the spring system, is all educational. And I love that. It's so cool. Like, the color separation, yes, it may be a little basic, but a lot of high grades are basic with color, so I'm not really worried about that. You're doing this for the love of the game, and you're doing this to, you know, to teach your kids something fun. And at the end of it, of their hard work and your hard work with your kids, you get to play with these things. So right here, we're doing the springs, and these are going to go onto both sets of arms, both sets of arms for pumping. So you got the pump right here was what I'm putting the springs on right there. These are the arm pumps, and they pump both arms. Once you're using the gadgets and gizmos on the controllers to pump water through the hoses, and that makes the arms go up for the punching and stuff, which again, super cool. And it breaks it all down for you too. Like, there's parts in the book where it says, you know, educational tip, pro tip, how it works, and it shows you what to do. It tells you, you know, get it right here, get a cup of water. You're supposed to pump these twice, shoot the water out, and then pump it again. Put your finger over it. It tells you this in the book. Put your finger over it, pump it. Make sure it doesn't come down. It's going to give you resistance, and you're going to then fill it up, and that's how you know that the pump is ready to go. And I just think those little details are amazing to read and go through. Like, oh man, yes, everything it's saying is true, and nothing's missed here, and it's so freaking awesome. And I had such a good time building this because I knew the end result would be my kids get to enjoy this. And kids don't really, if you're a model kit builder, and usually if your kids aren't into that, your kids don't really get to enjoy the hobby with you. And here I got to actually work towards a goal for educating my kids, because my kids came in a bunch of times and they were like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" And I sat them on my lap and stuff and sat them around in a circle with me, and I started educating them from the book. And they're like 4, 4, and 2, and they were just so into it. They loved it. They loved every second of it. They were like asking questions, and it was just a cool bonding moment with my kids, man. And if you don't have kids, say you have like a niece or a nephew, still, this is a perfect model kit and a perfect project to do with your nieces and nephews. Hell, do it with your parents. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a grown adult, do it with your parents, do it with your friends. This would be a cool way to introduce people to model kit building, and they actually get, outside of like a good cool display, they get to actually interact with it. And I feel like that might be a cool entry to the hobby for a lot of people, because again, not a lot of people are outside of the Bandai community and outside the model kit community are into this. Like, this isn't a mainstream thing outside of, yes, Bandai makes billions of dollars. Yes, model kits are huge, but it's still kind of a niche thing when you think about it. Like right here, I'm putting the joysticks together and the triggers for the hydraulic systems into the arms, which is super easy. Again, this entire process is completely easy. It's so straightforward. The book, this is probably my favorite model kit book by far. Yes, the Rictum that I built a couple months ago, the third-party one, I love that book to death. But this takes the cake with that. This kit, or this book, is so freaking awesome. And then here is the end results. And coming up here shortly, you guys are going to see some heavy battling going on. So I'm going to need you guys to just, cheer in the comment section and, vote for who's going to be the guy. Here's my 3 daughters. And again, they're not ages 10 plus. So their hands are a little bit smaller. You see my daughter on the left here. She has smaller hands and she's struggling a little bit. So keep that in mind, that the coordination and the hand-eye coordination and the button pressing will be a little difficult for kids, I'd say under 5, because my oldest 4-year-old here on the right next to her little sister, she had no problem pressing the buttons and moving it around. As you can see, she wanted to play. But she had no problems pressing the buttons and actually maneuvering this thing. She actually knocked my head off a couple times. So I have her playing against her other sister, her second youngest sister. And as you can see, she's pressing the buttons fairly easy because her hands are a little bit bigger. Yeah, she may not be moving it side to side like a bigger child would, but at the end of the day, there's my youngest being helped by her mom. At the end of the day, it's still a cool thing, and they loved it. They loved every moment of it, and they didn't want to stop playing. They actually started freaking out once I took it away. But who is this for? This kit is honestly for everybody. This is a family action-packed model kit. How much did it cost? I got it from Hobby Lobby for around $35. So that was pretty dope. What do I recommend? Who do I recommend to go buy this? Just everybody. Seriously. I know I just said, who's this for, but everybody can go get this kit. This thing was such a blast. And the kids, man, you guys remember Rock'em Sock'em Robots? That's basically this in model kit form. It's the modern age Rock'em Sock'em Robots. And I think we absolutely need more kits like this. So please, I want you guys to get out here, buy these kits, please. Like, I want this company to be supported. And I would like for this company to be supported, because stuff like this we need more stuff like this. I mean, it's STEM, so like if you can look at these kids, they're 4 years old. Both of these two are 4 years old and they're into this. That is a good thing. That's never a bad thing to be into science, guys. That's never a bad thing. And you know how they talk about girls being in the STEM and all that stuff? I mean, I've got 3 of them sitting right here. Then they watched me build this kit and they loved every moment of it. So please get out there, buy these kits. What do I rate this model kit? I'm going to give this, honestly, I'm going to give this probably a 9.9 out of 10. And simply because I kept getting my ass beat. So I got to dock it a point for that. And at that point, it is what it is. But guys, super big project coming up. If you like the content, subscribe, leave a comment, like, share, and we're on our way to 1,000, guys. This is Everyday Gunpla. I'm out.